Hey crafters, I'm going to keep working on my Nativity Scene diamond painting. Even though it's past Christmas, there's still a few parts of this that I wanted to complete before I put it away until next Christmas. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with DMC 5200, and this is my white DMC. It actually is the AB drills, and this is the first time I've worked with AB drills on this canvas. There were ABs for the angel, and that was really nice. So as you can probably pick up on the audio, I'm doing a voiceover, and I don't do many of these, but I had an amazing morning where I woke up early before the kids woke up and the house was completely quiet, and I realized I can craft now with nobody screaming in the background, nobody asking me for a sippy cup of milk. And I was so excited, I started diamond painting. So what you see is me incredibly happy, trying to not make a single sound because I didn't want to wake the kids up. And I was actually working on this diamond painting right outside of the bedroom where two of the kids were sleeping. So that's why I said, you know what, I'm going to record it and then I can just do a voiceover later. So this is new. I'm going to try it out. But I'm working on this cute little sheep in this video, and I want to work on the animals, and there's another part with a dove that I wanted to work on before I put this one away and really focus on the villains diamond painting again. This one is actually on clearance. I'm really bummed about that. I got an email from Heartful Diamonds talking about their clearance sale, so I logged in to see what kind of paintings they were kind of getting rid of, because why not pick them up if they're really cheap? And this one was there, so I don't know if it was since Christmas is over, we're clearing this out, or if it is we're not going to have this one anymore. So I actually put another one of these in my cart to get a second one as a gift because it was down to, I think, $30. So for something this large, excellent deal. What I was actually considering doing is some of the diamond paintings that I really don't, I started, just didn't really like, or ones that I haven't really featured with Drill With Me's. I have others that I haven't made videos for. I was going to bring them into work, and I work in a school, and kind of see if the kids would be interested, some of our older kids. But anyways, hi everybody. I get so off track. This is why I just start talking and talking and talking. So the day has come where we put all of our Christmas stuff away, and our house feels so empty because of it. I don't know if you guys have gotten around to doing this. I mean, it's after January 10th, so I think most people probably have. If you have not, then that's so amazing, and I'm really jealous. But our tree was starting to die. It was time to go. And I made a video about this before. We call it the Tunis table. It was the mosaic tile table that we had made in Tunisia with like our family crest on it. That is downstairs, sitting in this big bay window, and there's two chairs on it. That's actually my favorite place to craft, downstairs, and I can watch the kids, and I have this nice table. Oh, here's another DMC. I missed what it was. I was talking. Sorry, guys. I'm going to be the worst at voiceovers. Well, we put it all away, and just that table had the tree on top of it. We get a smaller tree, but we put it on the table because if we got a bigger tree with the 3-year-old, he likes pulling on the ornaments, he likes pulling on the branches, we think it would fall over. And if it's on the table, he can't really mess with it. But the house feels so empty, and I miss Christmas already. And gosh, to make things even worse, Germany has announced a new round of lockdown restrictions. Yep, so we are still in lockdown. So originally, this hard lockdown that we're in right now took place over Christmas and New Year's when schools were already closed. And here in Germany, schools actually, in Germany, schools closed, I don't know, I think the 16th or the 17th, I don't remember the date off the top of my head. And schools were even given the choice to close earlier than that if they wanted to. My kids' school stayed open, so they stayed in until the end of school, until the beginning of break. And stores kind of start shutting down around December 23rd. Your independent store will close earlier. Grocery stores are open on Christmas Eve, but they close early on Christmas Eve. I think they closed by 1 or 2. And then things are closed Christmas Day, and then most things are closed, the day after Christmas. So there is a period of time where everything's closed anyways. So it just makes sense if they're going to do a lockdown that it happened then. And we were waiting to figure out if it was going to continue, if schools were going to open. So, the Tuesday, I don't remember what date that was. On Tuesday, there was a meeting of the 16 German governors with the head of the German government, and they announced this lockdown, this hard lockdown, is going to continue for 3 more weeks. So right now we go until January 31st, knowing that they are going to talk again, I think on January 24th or 25th, and determine if this continues. So schools right now, it's so weird because I work in a school, so I'm going to try and explain this the best I can. Schools are closed for everybody, but open for, I'm going to say this wrong. So they're closed, so everybody can't attend, but they're open for emergency childcare purposes. So how they break it down, if your parents are police officers or a nurse or a doctor or a firefighter, if they're one of these jobs that are essential and they need to be picking up more hours or doing other things because of the coronavirus, then the school is open and accepting your child for that reason. Oh, and I should probably state, this is mostly young schools. So this is not like a high school. This would be your kita, which is a preschool, or your elementary school, something like that. So my kids' school is doing distance learning for a week at a time. So this upcoming week, they'll do distance learning, and then on Thursday, the school will announce if they're going to open the next week, if they're going to remain closed. So for the next 3 weeks, it's basically going to be week by week. That's how they're going to move forward. So the next 3 weeks are going to be a little tricky. Oh, another DMC. Look how pretty that one is. I totally missed the number, so I'm sorry about that. But it looks so nice on the tray and sparkly. So again, I work at a school, and I put together the list of families that, according to the guidelines I received, or the guidelines we were told, who would qualify for emergency care. And I didn't even put myself on the list, even though I worked at the school, because I'm going to have 2 kids at home anyways doing distance learning. So the baby, he's not going to, if he's at school, I'm still at home. It's really messy. But the next 3 weeks are going to be interesting. And I'm probably going to be crafting like crazy to keep myself sane. What I've been doing right now is working on this diamond painting bit by bit. And what you're not seeing in videos are me doing the black outlines, things like that, where it's just 310 and it's so boring. I am working on the Harry Potter scarf for my daughter. I wanted to try and get that done by whenever school opens. So I need to figure out a way to like sewing a tag on it, because she loses things all the time. She will lose it 100%. But I'm working the diamond painting, working on the scarf. And the good thing about the scarf is when they are on the tablet or the computer doing Zoom, and I kind of need to sit there. I mean, they're 6, so it's difficult. I mean, they can work independently on most things, but they will need to ask a question every now and then, or they don't understand how to work within the app that they have to work with. So I can sit there and just knit. So I am happy about that. But last time I remember it being a little chaotic, because I would be working with the girls And the baby, who at the time was 2, man, that poor kid, he just got put in front of either like the TV, or he would be next to the table while his sisters were working, and I just would have like a coloring book and crayons. It was tough on him because he didn't get as much interaction, as much kind of playtime, because he saw his sisters there. And he's like, hey, let's play. But it's like, no, buddy, we can't play. They're working. And he's just not in an age to really understand that. And he would get upset and sad. So maybe now that he's 3, distance learning will be a little better. But we'll go from there. Oh, and I'll tell you all about how it is. So one thing that I forgot to mention about the lockdown rules, and I was just thinking about learning and lockdown. I don't know how I'm coming back to this subject after already moving on to the next, but that's me. We have a new restriction now that if you are living in a coronavirus hotspot, and I think they consider a hotspot, oh gosh, I don't know, somewhere if you have more than 100 cases per 100,000 people, or maybe, I don't know, or more than 50 cases for 100,000 people. I'm not sure. I don't know. If you live in a place like that, you are only allowed to travel 15 kilometers. Yeah, so you can go out and about, but you are limited inside a 15-kilometer bubble. Thankfully, right now, Frankfurt is not a hotspot. So we are still permitted to travel. And I mean, it's a lockdown, everything's closed, so quote unquote traveling. I mean, what does that really mean? Today we went to the commissary, and that's at Wiesbaden, and that's about 31 kilometers away. So we're still able to go there and get groceries, which, let me tell you, thank goodness, because if that becomes we can't travel out there, I am going to drown in my grocery bill by going to the German grocery store, because it is so nice and so fancy and so expensive that I need the commissary. And then trying to explain to the 3-year-old why he doesn't have Lucky Charms. He's going to be so sad. But so we went to the commissary, and it was completely picked over. It was really empty shelves, and it's a big commissary. It's not like it's this tiny little thing. And I later found out people are trying to stock up if they can't travel, because with Wiesbaden, yes, it is a military base, but there is a significant amount of people that live off base in neighboring towns, so they all kind of have the same idea. Even I heard yesterday that they ran out of milk. They didn't have any milk. And when I went today, thankfully they had a few things of milk and they were rationing it out. So anyways, so the 15-kilometer rule means we won't be able to get out and about as much. And that's okay, because I think I've left my neighborhood, except for a trip I'll talk about in a moment. I left my neighborhood twice, and I think the whole Christmas break, as soon as the lockdown started. And when I talk about leaving my neighborhood, I mean, I went the 3 streets up to the farmer's market and back, and that was it. But yesterday, we were sitting around the house, and we were keeping in mind this hotspot thing, and my husband was talking about some furniture that he wanted to buy. And really quick, you'll notice the angle just changed, because while I was working, the camera fell over, and I had about 30 seconds where I picked the camera up and I had to readjust it, and I cut that out of the video, and it actually just ended up cutting my audio. So that was the drop in audio. If I remember correctly, it happens again. I didn't set my camera up that well. But my husband was talking about some furniture he wanted. He has a chair he sits in that he likes, and it broke. So it's like, you know what? Let's see if Ramstein, the Air Force base here in Germany, if that's a hotspot. Because if we are not a hotspot and they are not a hotspot, we could still travel to that base. And we were so excited. We're like, oh, let's check. we got confirmation that it was a place we could still travel to. And we're like, kids, get ready. We're getting in the car. We're going on a drive. I just really liked the long drives that we were able to take before COVID. Ooh, another drill color. I don't have many of this one, so I'm just picking it out. And we got in the car, and Ramstein Air Force Base is about an hour and a half away from Frankfurt. So we're able to do it. The kids are at an age we don't have to stop for bathroom breaks. Don't have to stop for snacks or gas. We can just go there. And we went there, and it was we treated this like the fanciest day. We just walked around the store. We ended up buying I think we got like winter clothes, some more winter clothes for the kids. What else did we get? Why can't I think of this? Like the little boy picked out a Hot Wheels car. My husband was looking at furniture, and he didn't see any that he liked. We will maybe check another military base another weekend. But all the chairs were like fancy, nice leather chairs. And we live in a house with 3 kids, so we're not going to get a chair like that. I don't know if I ever told you guys this story, but when we moved into our first house in Tunisia, there was a white couch. And at the time we had 2-year-olds, and we weren't there for very long before we put like blankets over the couch, try and keep it a little bit nice. And one day, one of the girls just had a huge sippy cup full of red fruit punch, spilled it all over the blanket on top of the couch, and it soaked through, and our couch became a pink couch. And a little known thing, being in the Foreign Service, our homes are furnished for us. So most of the furniture we need is already there. We can take some small belongings, like we'll bring our Tunis table, and my husband will bring his chair. But most of it is already pre-furnished. And when we leave, we have a housing survey, and a board comes in, checks all of our furniture and things like that have been damaged. Any furniture we have to pay for. So, pink couch, unfortunately, that's a no-go. But we were looking at furniture, and we didn't get any. But we did spend our afternoon there. I'm trying to think of what else we bought. I mean, besides small little things like Valentine's and some Valentine's Day candy, I bought vitamins. We bought a couple flavors of dog food that we cannot buy at our current PX and commissary. I looked at some sporting equipment, but I didn't buy any. One of the girls outgrew her helmet, so we bought a bike helmet. Little things like that we picked up while we were there, and we thought about going to the commissary. Their commissary is beautiful. It's huge. It is like the size of a super Walmart, but it's all food. And the problem, though, is we then have to get all of that stuff home. And, taking anything that's cold or refrigerated doesn't really work. We have gone there and bought small things like snack bars and boxes of cereal that they sell there that they don't sell at our commissary. But it ended up being pretty late. We didn't leave the house till 12, so we didn't get there till 1:30. We stayed and had lunch, did shopping, so we really weren't wrapping up until about 3:30, 4 o'clock. And at that point in Germany, it's already getting dark. So we did, instead of going to the commissary, we just came home. And their commissary, it's really little things. Like around Christmas, they had, for kids, like Christmas-themed cereal and more Christmas seasonal-themed snacks options. So those are the types of extra little goodies that if we're there, we'll try and pick up for the kids. But we just didn't make it. And that was a fun trip. We were so excited to just get in the car and see something different. And it's an hour and a half away, and they're a bit more in the mountains, and it snows there. So we got to see some snow too, which was fun because it does not snow in Frankfurt. It really doesn't. We load our weather map, and it'll say, out of the 7-day forecast, it'll say that there's going to be snow 4 of the days, and it doesn't actually snow. It's one of these deals where it's always rainy and misting here in Frankfurt. So for about 10 minutes of the day, that rainy mist turns into the smallest little flurries, and that'll count as snow, but there's never any accumulating snow. So the fact we got to go there was really fun. There was a lot of snow about 30 minutes from here. We just haven't made it out to see it yet and play in it yet. But yeah, I just feel like we've done so much the past couple weeks, yet I'm really running out of things to talk about in Drill With Me's because a lot of it is at home. So I hope I'm not boring you guys too much. Hey, if you're still crafting with me right now, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And if you could give me your opinion on how this audio sounds, because I'm sure it's a little odd that the audio isn't entirely matching up and I'm not talking about the DMCs and the Drill With Me colors, but I figured this could be a really easy way that I could continue filming videos, and then later during the day when the kids are occupied and quiet, I just hit the voice record button and I just talk and talk. And thankfully 2 of the 3 are napping right now, so it made sense that I could easily do this. But also it's kind of the situation where I can't just leave the other 2 while the 3rd one is entertained and go upstairs and craft. Am I explaining this correctly? You guys get what I'm saying? Hopefully you do. Kindred spirits, you understand. So I hope this works this way because it would be really cool. Another way that I could keep doing more Drill With Me is And in addition to that, I told you how I'm also knitting. I have this large fabric box that I'm so excited for. I ordered some fabric back in November, and it's one of these super discount fabric kind of places with amazing deals. But here is the catch. It is a complete mystery what you get. Yeah. So you might pay $3 for a yard of fabric, and you might pay $3 or $4 for a jelly roll, but you don't know what it's going to be. It's a mystery, so it's kind of the fun that comes along with it. So I'm waiting for that to arrive, and when that does arrive, I have a few quilts that I want to work on because I just need a little bit more fabric for the large quilts. Yeah, if you're asking, like, wait a minute, so you order fabric, but you don't know what it looks like? It is a bit odd, but what happens is it's a company, they're called Lorraine Fabrics, and they get their fabrics at a super discounted rate. I think either if a store goes out of business or it might be like an outlet kind of deal. They have some really nice name brand fabric lines that they carry. So I don't know how they're able to offer it at these prices. It's got to be like an outlet version. And you send them an email with how much you want to spend, your address, and pretty much what you like and what you don't like. The reason I jumped in and decided to do this is because the reviews talked about how you will get a phone call. The store will call you. They do hundreds of these boxes a day. So it takes weeks. It took about a month for me to get my phone call. And then they talk to you. They want to know everything you like and everything you don't like when it comes to fabric. So I sat there trying to think. In my email, I said, these are colors I like working with. Here are colors I do not like. These are patterns I enjoy. Here are the patterns I don't like buying when it comes to fabric. And I felt that they asked so many really good questions that it's like, oh yeah, then they're definitely going to do a good box. So that hopefully will arrive by the end of the month, and then I can start doing some quilts, because they called me a few days before Christmas. No, maybe they called me about mid-December, And then, Christmas and the rush and, businesses taking some time off to celebrate. My credit card was charged after Christmas, like the day before New Year's or something. And then I got a phone call maybe January 7th or 8th. I'm not sure what time it was. Or I'm sorry, not what time, what day it was. And they asked me to confirm my address because, we have a weird overseas address and it's really confusing. It's a DPO. So it is U.S. shipping rates, U.S. stamps, everything like that. And it goes to the facility that then sends out your military mail, your Air Force mail, your APO, your MPO, your DPO, all of that. So they had to call and confirm, oh, I'm doing another drill with me, another DMC. I think I did 813 here. As I work on my little lamb, there might only be about 2 or 3 more DMCs left for this one. And I just worked on this small one. Actually, to the right here is the little sheep. To the right here of the little sheep is the shepherd. And I thought that would be a really cool one to do a drill with me as well. Because in the different fabric, the clothing that the shepherd is wearing, there's a lot of bold colors. And it makes it look as if it pops out really well with these little animals next to it having the white and the tan and the different shades of blue to show a shadow, and then bam, that bold purple and pink in the clothing. I thought that would look really cool too, but I want to make sure I get all the animals done before I do that shepherd. Okay, so I actually stopped the audio and now I'm just going to wrap up. This is the last DMC that I'm working on. My kids asked me about dinner, so I'm going to go ahead. This video is wrapping up. I sped up this last little bit. That way you could quickly see the end result of this work, all this crafting that we did. And I'm going to go and work on dinner for the kids because they're getting hungry and antsy. So thank you for crafting with me, everybody. Thanks for being here. Look how cute this little sheep looks. I like all the colors together, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, crafters.